So about 5 weeks later, my Christmas present to me from Scale Suspension. Heck yeah. I bought a set of these for my pickup. These guys will make coilovers for freaking anything, including my little pickup. So pretty awesome. 3 things to address though. Bunch of stuff has to come apart. So I'm doing some sound dampening along the way. There's an internal panel I already took out of the back. A few layers on there. I'm hoping maybe 6 pounds worth of sound deadening by the time I'm done. I've already done across some metal across the back in here. I pulled the stereo out of the back. I did the whole bottom in here. And another thing is a scale. For those of you that talk about weight and taking weight off your car because of carbon, or weight off of freaking anything, and you say, oh, that's freaking light. Do you know how to use a scale? Seriously, man, come on. I also have corner scales for the car. The car will get weighed. It's been weighed about a dozen times at this point. And the other thing is I'm going to go around and I'm going to take some pretty reasonable measurements of ride height and camber, and I'm putting it back to stock. I'm not lowering the car. I want it a little bit stiffer. It's go stop and turn a little bit better than it was stock, and there's simply not enough control with the suspension now that it's faster. Here we have everything unboxed. I didn't think the Swift spring upgrade was going to be this weird gold color. I thought they were going to be black. That's okay, I guess I'll forgive them. All of the coilovers weigh about 42.25 pounds, and the rear sway bar and end links comes in about 16 pounds. I think these end links are this white line. Got these off of Parts Geek. Nice ball joint. I'm expecting bushings to come out on the old ones. And from the feedback that I got, this H&R rear sway bar should do the trick to getting my way to a neutral steer versus everybody says these things push a lot. So that's what I'm doing. So I have gone through and taken ride height measurements, pretty much aluminum yardstick, center of the wheel, measure right there, there you go. Passenger side is slightly higher. We'll see how much I care by the time I get done with the final setup. Camber, all I'm doing is a nice square and a pair of calipers in the sidewall. And my nice little measuring tool here. The rear, I can fit about half that knuckle. So that'll be easy. That's just a double check. This is a little bit different. We'll see. The other side, they're about 50 thousandths off from each other. I'm not sure if that's concrete or not, but I'm going to set it down in the same place and measure it afterwards. So call it a pro tip if you will, but I've lowered my subframe by about 1.5 inches. I can't quite get the rear sway bar out of here. And yeah, if I remember, every time I've done this, the rear sway bar has been the most difficult part. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun here. So after dropping the subframe about 2 inches, I was able to get the sway bar worked through there. Still was not easy. And how do you like my lightweight aluminum jack on milk crates holding my subframe? I do have one bolt in by a few threads, just in case. And here we have a shot of old and new. So it looks like an upside down position to me. Fits a lot better. Fits over there nicely. The upper seat still has some movement. Let's see how this thing goes in here. Super. So we can clamp all this together and stuff doesn't fall apart, we'll be in business. Yeah, we like it. At this point I got springs on both sides, perches, etc. This lower knuckle bolt I have just kind of fed in there just to keep it straight, and I'm gonna put the wheels on, drop it to the ground, check the ride height, and see how we're at. So my ride height was about 1/16 of an inch low. So I just turned the collar on each side just a little bit, and I'm calling it good. Put that bolt back into place on both sides. And as far as sound dampening, the liners are actually pretty good. So all of this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a couple of layers on all this. Just because I'm here, I have a bucket of goo, and I'm going to use it. Let's see, is it a good look for me? So while the rear end dries, I've moved on to the front. And here's a shot of the 3 bolts from the bottom I need to do to get rid of this strut. And the sway bar is kind of fun because it's kind of in this little channel here. It's got an 8mm stud. Of course, the second you get this thing loose, you can't do anything with it. So I have an 18 impact socket with my super duper fits everything wrench and this little ratchet. This is about what I'm thinking. Oh, get on there, would you? There we go. So I think if I do this a few times, it should come off okay. And that's it. You know, you like power tools when you can. So skipping ahead, I have, well, it's kind of hard to see those. Pulled out the 2 bolts on the strut, pulled out the sway bar link right there. All 6 of these bolts on top. I can kind of put this down. Yay. And I'm gonna see how easy it's gonna be to try to crack that thing loose and get it out of there. Easy peasy, right? Clearing I'm a weak ass old man. Yay! Corner scales and corner balancing. So I don't know, you may have heard about that. The idea is, here's my nice little readout. Got 4 of these under each one of the wheels, and I'm going to drop the car on top of these, rock it back and forth a little bit, let it settle out. And the idea is that diagonal corners, these 2 corners are going to weigh the same as these 2 corners. That gives you the same ratio over here to over here, so that the car turns left the same way that it turns right. I think overall you get more traction because you're not trying to overload a particular tire or unload a particular tire. And I've had weird tire wear when I've done track days with not being properly corner balanced. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. So right now I have ride heights approximated. I'm going to get my corner weights, and then I can decide whether I want to lower a corner or raise a corner to try to get that 50-50. Verdict is left front, right rear, about 51.5%. So I'm going to look at my ride height measurements and figure out if I want to raise a corner or lower a corner in order to get less weight on this bag. Pretty simple. Final thoughts. So for my cross weights, I did wind up taking all of my weight to reduce the weight up here and back there off the right rear. That was the one place that I could see the ride height that I wanted to drop it down a little bit, so that's what I did. It turns out I've got about a ½ inch difference between the spring perches and the rear springs. give you an idea of how much adjustment it actually takes to get everything dialed in. I started off with 51.5%, finished with 49.9, and that is with me sitting in the driver's seat. So came out great. The alignment, this tire was pretty much dead on from where I started before doing the coilovers after bolting it up. So that was great. It started off with my wheel about 7 degrees out. Far side was pretty much no camber when I started. Then I tried another position that was too much camber, too much negative camber. Steering wheel was over here, it's kind of darting around. Then I got smart. I forget where I put it. And I used this little guy, stuck to my rotors and compared the size to the rotors so I could actually be really precise about how I bolted down the strut. That helped out a lot, so I was able to get them identical. Steering wheel is perfectly straight. The drivability is exactly how it was as far as grabbing ruts versus just wandering. Because no camber, you kind of wander. Too much camber, you grab ruts. And at least they're perfectly even. I'm not going to get aligned. Life is good. I can play with the camber plates a little bit if I wanted to kind of fine tune the way it feels going down the highway. The ride sucks. Seriously. And I had this long conversation with co-pilot as I'm getting distracted at work, and oh yeah, your tires are supposed to be part of your suspension system. No, they're not. I don't adjust my tire pressure by what it does for my suspension and feel. It can take out some harshness, but yeah, there's too much friction in the dampeners for now. Talk to me in 6 months. Had the same kind of thing with my pickup when I put the coilovers on there. It took about 6 months before it was really at all tolerable. So I'm hoping with that. And handling, I gotta tell you, you jump on the gas and it just hits you in the butt. It's awesome. There's none of this kind of get on the gas, you go. I hit a dip as I was coming around the corner the other night, and holy crap, it just launched and went around the corner, up the hill, and holy crap, it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, 6 months from now, I think I'll be happy.